Attorney Shaprali for another video. Today we're going to talk about the E2 visa, who can get an E2 visa, what kind of visa it is, and who qualifies for the E2 visa. um, First of all, the title of this is basically come investing in America and the E2 visa. So I'm going to go on this slideshow and explain to you how it works. The E2 visa is a treaty visa, so it's available only for countries who have a treaty with the United States. Example of those countries are Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, Canada, some countries in Europe, UK, and Australia. So this is a very interesting visa if you just want to come and invest here, start a business, and it's not very hard to get, except it's a lot of paperwork to prepare. How do you qualify? There are three things that you need. The individual is a national of a treaty country, which I have mentioned. It's going to have a substantial investment and plans to invest in a real continuing commercial enterprise. Many times I get the questions, what is substantial investment? Substantial investment is not really an amount of money, but usually we recommend above $100,000, around $120,000. And a continuing commercial enterprise has to be something which is continuing, like for example a restaurant, a laundromat, a franchise, you name it. There are many business out there that will qualify under the E2 visa, and the individual is coming to America to develop an investment. And of course you have to develop something. Recently we have worked on few cases. One was in the field of education, a couple of them was in the field of education where they were developing schools and software and things like that. So the E2 visa is perfect for that. Now, what is an E2 visa? Of course, it is a visa that has to be distinguished basically with the green card. The E2 visa is not a green card, it is a non-immigrant visa, and it doesn't lead to a green card. So if you want a green card, you have to shift to something else. But there are some ways where someone can actually shift to a green card, but the visa itself is not a dual intent visa. That means you cannot have the intent to enter to get a green card. And the in order to explain what the USCIS, the Department of Homeland Security, is looking in your case when you file it. First, they are looking at where you're placing your capital, your funds, and your assets, and you have to put it at risk. And you need to have the intention of generating profit. You cannot just bring it here and try a non-profit, for example. It will not be helpful. It can be both a new business or a pre-existing business. And we recommend sometimes to take a pre-existing business because you can easily show what will be generated in income and what will be the future in your business plan. But that's more strategic than anything else. But definitely you have to show that the business will be producing money. And a bona fide your investment must be in a bona fide enterprise and not be marginal. This is a very kind of intense question, because what do they mean by marginal? What they mean by marginal is you have to do something which is going to produce profit, not just produce a salary for yourself, and will provide at least minimum living and a contribution to the United States. So many people will come and just think, okay, I open a business, I make my salary is good enough. It won't work like that, because ultimately the goal of an investor visa is to invest in the United States. That means you have to produce some income for the US, and you ultimately have to produce income for yourself and for your employees. So we recommend that you talk to a lawyer in case you want to know what if your business is marginal or not and will qualify under the E2. Then few of the evidence that you can submit to prove that, of course, are here a list of them. Your EIN number, your financial statements, tax returns, wage reports, an organizational chart, business licenses, bank statement, contracts, escrow documents. Contracts are very interesting because that shows there will be potential for the business. And also, this is the same that I was talking about showing the marginality of the business. A business plan, detailed business plan, or executive summary showing that your business will produce more than a minimal living for you and your family. it's major to do a business plan, and a business plan when it comes to doing the E2 visa is essential. It's more than essential. I'll say it's critical. It's the most important part, really, how to present the business. And of course, it's also important in other visas such as L1 also, but in this case it's major. And of course, payroll summaries, your foreign taxes, these are very important to submit, and you have to prepare a good package. um, you need to be in possession of the funds, and the funds must be committed to your business. And that's a question we get often. How do we do that? Well, one of the ways to do that is to put the money in a trust account, and or an escrow account, we should call it. That means when you get the visa and the business is starting, the money will be released. And the money has to be your own. Major problems we have been seeing is tracing the funds. And many times people will come with funds that they cannot trace, and under the Money Laundering Act, it becomes an issue, and they won't give you the funds. We had a case where we got a long RFE, where they were questioning, I think, around only $1,000. So it's something major. So make sure your money is coming from a clean source. We know many times people coming from certain countries, they don't trust the bank. So how do they prove those funds are genuine funds? So be careful. You need to show that it's major. People coming from Europe, Canada don't have this issue, but we've seen this many of those who come from the Middle East or coming from Pakistan. Unfortunately, they question a lot those funds where they're coming from. And also some of the evidence that you can show to prove that: money orders, personal bank statements, goods, list of goods, corresponding financial documents, lease agreement, timesheet. um, and one of the questions that they're asking is to demonstrate that the investment is substantial and irrevocably committed to the enterprise. What they mean irrevocably means that money is going to be used for that visa. You cannot just make up stuff and say, I have the money and that's it. No, that's not good enough. This is where a good lawyer again comes into play, can explain that this money is definitely committed to this enterprise. And more evidence, of course, to prove that: purchase agreements, stock purchase agreements, minutes, stock ledgers, stock certificate, corresponding forms of payment for stock. This might seem sometimes a little bit too much, but that's how the USCIS function. And actually, if you're applying with the at the State Department, US Consulate, the same rule will apply. So be careful. You might want to bring all the evidence together. And one of the things that people, if you're already in United States, for example, on a B1 visa, you can shift to an E2 visa by filing on the form I-129. But it's better to take the E2 visa from abroad. Then you'll get a stamp on your passport, and you usually get more time on those visas. And plus, it's useless to kind of do. Many people who are in the investor visa wants to travel. So if in case they just get a change of status from some kind of other visas, when they're trying to travel, they pretty much have to start over at the US consulate. So my recommendation is always to pick up the E2 visa at the US consulate, although sometimes it's preferable, depending on your situation, just to do the case as a change of status. We had situations where people were in danger if they had to go back to their country. Not big danger, but they didn't want to interested to go, so they preferred to do a change of status. So, and you must be able to show your source of funding, and I mentioned that earlier. um, it has to be a legitimate source. Very, very important. Prove where you're getting the money. If your parents are lending it to you, you're taking it from a bank from your home country, and the money cannot really be taken from the US, by the way. Although we have seen cases where people will take a loan here, but it's not something that they're looking at. They're looking at you investing in the United States, and the money has to come from outside. And basically these are evidence you can submit to prove that: wire transfers, foreign and domestic bank accounts, foreign tax returns, pay records, property records, loan and mortgage agreements. As you can see right there, they kind of detail where they want the money to come from. You must be coming to the United States to develop and direct the enterprise. You have to show that you will be directing the enterprise and developing it, and you have to show more than 50% of ownership, and you have to have control and dominion over the business. Many times people say, oh, I just invest with my friend and that's good enough, I'll get the E2. Well, you might, if you show one, that you are basically developing the business, two, that you will be in control of the operations, and also you'll be in control of the future direction of this business. It's not just putting your money in and you will get your E2 visa. So don't count on that. You need to count on you controlling your business. And also I skip one slide here. Some of the evidence you may submit to support this, and you have to show basically documentation, capitalization table, stock purchases, bylaws, minutes, stock certificates, annual report, etc., etc. You will see it here on your screen. So this is where basically the lawyer sorts it out for you and can make it happen. um, how can we help as a law firm? First of all, it's not complicated, but it is complicated. That's where it's counterintuitive. The paperwork when it comes to immigration is sometimes daunting. One small mistake can actually cost you the whole case. And we have been preparing a lot of E2 visas. We have been very successful, and we will even prepare you for the interview. As you can see, the E2 visa itself is not a difficult process, but it requires some knowledge of the law and how to assess it before you start. And we can help you. If you need help, you're from countries where you qualify under the treaty visa, call us. And for countries who don't qualify, don't just give up. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the other option, and this is another thing we can help you on, assessing your other options. For example, L1A visa might be used as an investor visa, even though it is not an investor visa. Then you have the EB5 visa, which is another kind of visa. So don't just go only for one visa, because sometimes people get fixed on one visa and they don't see the other options in their hand. And this is where a consultation from an expert will be helpful. I have handled more than 4,000 immigration cases in my career, and I've handled more than maybe 5-6,000 consultations. And so far, we have a good record when it comes to immigration. So it is good to just give us a call, 510-742-5887. Thank you very much for listening. And before I go, I just wanted to let you know information that I provide you on the slides and videos are for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. No attorney-client relationship is contracted by this video or slide. And if you want to have a consultation or talk to us, number to call 510-742-5887. The website to check is piralilaw.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully I will see you in the next video on investor visa.